podcast. You are welcome to another edition. I am Fatima Bintu Dikko. I'll be the host for this session, and I have with me today an engineer who has been in the oil sector for a very long time. He is also a philanthropist. Permit me to introduce to you Engr Sunday Babalola. You are welcome to the podcast, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for all you've been doing for humanity. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. Let me start by asking you, can you tell us your background, how you grew up in the society?
Let me start with my name.
All right, sir.
My name is Sunday Babalola.
Okay.
Later on in life, I acquired the title engineer.
Okay.
And I'm a fellow of the Society of Nigerian Society of Engineers.
Right.
I grew up in Banara,
Kwara State.
Banara local government.
Wow, that's great to hear.
I went to secondary school, and primary school in Banana, Native Authority Primary School, and I went to secondary school in New Secondary School. It was the first secondary school in the whole of both northern Bordeaux and western Bordeaux already there. I graduated there in 1974.
Okay.
Went to Kwara there. This is a state there. Then moved to School of Art and Science Ondo. From there, I transferred to the University of Ibadan, where I studied petroleum engineering. It was very rare to see people in those days study petroleum engineering.
So that means you are telling viewers at home that it was just a privilege you have.
It is a very, very rare privilege.
Thank you so much.
And I tell you, we are at home because I had my setback that led me to study petroleum engineering.
Wow.
Every disappointment will always work together for you, for your own good. If I had gone straight from Polytech to the university, I would not have studied petroleum engineering. And then I'm married with to one wife and a few children, and I'm now a grandfather.
You are now a grandfather. Congratulations, sir. Now, you've been a major player in Nigeria oil sector. What is your view on the statement that oil is a cost rather than a blessing to Nigeria? This is because with oil discovery, Nigeria abandoned other critical sections like agriculture, and this is becoming a major challenge these days. So what is your view about this?
Well, oil became a cost because we made it a cost.
All right.
Oil, for every other country that used it well, the oil wealth, well, those countries were doing very well and are still doing very well. You got to mention a number of OPEC countries from the Middle East, and they are all doing very well, including countries from North Africa like Libya. They use their oil wealth very well. And in our own case, we didn't use it very well. And that is why we had the problem we had. One of the pains in my heart is when this oil money was coming in, the head of state of Nigeria at the time said money was not the problem of Nigeria,
Right.
but how to spend it. For goodness sake, even as a child, I knew how to spend money. The road of the village where I grew up is still untarred till now. The places at the time we were growing up, when this statement was made, 95% of Nigeria is without road, without water, without electricity,
Social amenities.
and other social amenities. We were without infrastructure. So that statement should not have been made. Should not have been made. And that is where it became a cause. It became a cause because all of us go to the till, to the central course to collect money. I tell you as of today, only one state that I'm very sure of can really stand on its own without getting anything from the federal government. Only one state. But when we look at it, it's not supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to be like that. I give you an example. In America, California can stand on its own. Texas can stand on its own. And I assure you, only one state in Nigeria can stand on its own. Because all we are all looking for is how to get money from the central course. The governors are basically lazy, even before politics, while we are doing military. And all they do is collect money, share it, use the amount they want to use for projects and leave the rest. And that is why it seemed that oil became a cause for us. But it ought not to be like that. And when you look at it, the local governments are not doing anything, basically waiting for the money to come in, pay salaries and use the rest the way they work. There is no thinking outside the box because there is a central course where you are going to go and collect money. And in other climes, it's not like that. They collect money from central course too. Even universities do. I hear my friend Donald Trump saying that he's not going to pay Harvard some money again. The reality is that everybody depends on the federal government. But because of our so much dependency on it, we just don't do anything again. And it's very sad. We are supposed to go back and say, if this man doesn't give me money, what do I do? And that's what happened with the case of the only state that is viable in Nigeria today. When they created all those LCDAs and federal government was not giving them money, they thought inwards and started to raise money and were able to, today, the state is making over 45 billion every month. So I learned. I've not looked at their account. And if that's true, that's why they can stand on their own. All states are not doing well. All local governments are not doing well. That's why it seems that all is a cause. But we can turn those things around and make oil a blessing. Make oil a blessing.
Can you give 2 or 3 insights on how these things can be turned around? All these things can be turned around. You've been saying and they are so lazy. What are those things you think they can do that can generate more funds?
Number one, we have to start with the federal government itself. You have to be able to get foreign direct investment into our oil industry. And they are doing well in that direction because now many Nigerians own oil companies now. Before it used to be only one company, one Nigerian company, then it became 2. Now we have several Nigerian companies that are doing upstream business now. That's turning it around. And secondly, the state government have to look on how they are going to generate funds. Return the money from the center is not going to come. And start to do things that will raise money without hurting the people.
Exactly where I'm going. What are those things
you are not supposed to tax people heavily. Those small money They don't matter. For example, in Lagos, I pay 3,000 for land use charge. Just small money like that. And that's what results in the 45 billion we are talking about. It's not that they are overtaxed, there is no overtaxation. And they make people to pay their fair share. When I bought a car in Lagos, and I gave a special number, Lagos State government decided on me that I must come and pay tax. Until I showed them, this is loan. I took loan to buy this car, and I number it to honor my wife. It's basically loan. And they left me alone. So we should follow people. There are many people out there that are doing a lot of things that we need to ask them, how much tax did you pay? Yeah? There are several ways to raise money. If you allow the roads to be good and the food to come in, and the market women are doing well, the market men are doing well, and you are charging them not big money, pay 500 naira per day for coming to the market today. It looks small, but by the time you accumulate it, it becomes a huge money. And there are many things they could do. You can create employment by establishing new organizations, new businesses, encouraging inflow of investment into the state through direct work of yours to ensure that you need to relax your regulation to ensure businesses come in. And when businesses come in, many people will be employed. And when many people are employed, there is work. The ripple effect is mammoth, because if a man gets employed or a woman gets employed, the family will be affected. They will send their children to school, private or public. All those things, there is a ripple effect on it. And those are the things that I think the state government should be looking at. And the days that I was contesting, I wrote the manifestos, and those manifestos were very, very good. I thought somebody would just steal those manifestos and start to implement those things inside of it. It is not a preserve of one person. You can use it. You can use it. And then it is you that is using it that people will look at. And you can create electricity. Before government even deregulated electricity generation, I have proposed it even in my manifesto that I will bring the federal government to. And once you have those things, the artisans will work, and you can charge them small. Before you know it, you have a very big.
Before we go into politics, let me ask you that question, sir. What is your view about subsidy regimen, subsequently removal of oil subsidy, and our refineries are not working? What can you say about it?
It is the best decision that any government will take.
All right.
It is the best. While I was working in the oil industry, I have always advocated for subsidy removal. Because what we had is that people were doing a lot of fraudulent activities with those subsidies. There is recirculation. There is people coming to say, I brought in one tank out of this thing, and then they will take it back and bring it in again. A lot of people are making money out of the subsidy. It's not benefiting the people at all. During the time of the subsidy, let me tell you that it only affected basically places like Lagos and Abuja. When you go to Sokoto, you don't buy petrol at regulated price. When you go to Enugu, you don't buy at the regulated price. So it was useless keeping subsidy. Now, it is much better. You see, as crude oil prices go up or dollar exchange rate changes, it changes also. We were to fill my car when they first removed it. I spent almost almost 90,000. These days I spend about 60, 70,000 to fill my car. And I tell you what, as competition increases, it will keep going down like that. Removal of subsidy is the best decision. We were just enriching a few people who had no added value to our economy. They just carry the money, and most of them are not even using the money gainfully in the country, because if you receive such subsidy, what you should do is establish outfits and organizations and companies that will be able to employ people and enhance the economy of the people. But all the people that are collecting subsidy, most of them did nothing with it.
We believe when our refineries are functional, we'll still be released.
The refineries don't need to be functional for there to be removal of subsidy. But they will become functional eventually, because we learned that the Port Harcourt refinery is working now to some extent. Gradually they will get, and it's because of the removal of subsidy that the refineries are not working basically, because the people making profiting from it do not allow it to work. I don't have any facts to actually be able to say these are the data, but I can tell you that was what is happening. Now that subsidy has been removed, one of them is working. Very soon the second one will be out working. And before you know it, all the four of them will be working.
Thank you so much for those beautiful answers. I love them so much. Let's now go to the next question. Is Nigeria still a major player in the global petroleum league?
Of course it is.
Nigeria is still, wow, good to hear. Thank you so much. Let me now come back to Kwara. In the last few years, I've been seeing you to be a philanthropist. This Christmas, I remember you gave widows, women, and people Christmas gifts. During Ramadan, for the fact that you're a Christian, you gave Muslims beans, millets, and all this. When people see people doing that, the first thing that comes to the masses' mind is you want to join politics. Although you told me when you contested, you read the manifesto, but me, I was thinking maybe that was when you were in the institution. Please share more light on this. Let's hear from you. Is it that you just like to be a philanthropist, it is for humanity, or you have an hidden agenda for that?
It's a very good question.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate the question. I took the nature of giving from my father.
Wow, good to know.
At Lefa. He was well known for being a very good giver. And I saw him. And I saw him do this, and it was good in my eyes. Secondly, my own wife is also a very good giver. So she encourages me to be a giver. Thirdly, giving is a grace. And grace is what empowers you to do things that ordinarily you will not be able to do. Fourthly, God is a giver. And that is the most important reason for me. God is a giver. He gave us life. And we Christians believe He gave us His only begotten Son. The word gave is in that scripture. So He's a giver. And I like to emulate God. I like to be like Him. I like to follow Him. And like I tell people, when you do things that take you to heaven or to hell, or you say there is no heaven, no hell, you will get there and find there is something like that. And it will be sad. Telling you, it's giving has become a nature for me, because I want to follow the footsteps of God. God gave us a lot of things, the prophets and ourselves. He gave us life. And none of us own the life by himself. He is the giver of all. So having given us this thing, a good man should emulate God and say, I want to also be a giver. You can't give the level of God giving, but within the resources he gave you, you can give the little you can. And nothing is too small.
No,
Nothing is too big. My people say, àwọn ènìyàn ló máa ń sọ pé ó kéré mi lè fún ọ. That is to say, it's only a miser that will say, this is too small.
So there's nothing like too small.
Out of that too small, you can give a little out.
Yes.
And that's where I learned giving. And I thank God for the grace. I say giving is grace.
You said it.
Giving is grace. You can't do it if you don't have the grace, no matter how much you have. There are people that have plenty, they cannot take it out. I learned of the greatest miser in the Guinness Book of World Record, who could not take care of himself in spite of the fact that he was very, very rich. So, giving is a grace.
So the other question, do you have any political ambition? Maybe that was why you were doing it. I agree giving is a grace. When you're giving, does it have to do with humanitarian or because of the political ambition?
No, it's not for political ambition. And if you notice, for all the giving, all the things we have been doing, empowerment, we don't bring politicians there.
Okay.
We don't. We don't encourage politicians to come there. We do it just because we want to do it. For example, when they start Ramadan fast, all the 30 days, we sponsor programs. And we don't say it in affiliation to any political party. And it doesn't matter to me whether a political party, whether I'm in politics or not. It is something that somebody will catch something from the preaching of that man that can change their lives. And that is more important to me than any form of politics. It's not because of political ambition.
But you are interested in politics?
Every human being is interested in politics. Every one of us. If you say you are not interested in politics, and when I look at you, I will just turn my eyes to tell you that you are lying without saying it in words. Even in our families, amongst siblings, there is politics. Even with our parents, there is politics. So every human being, and which philosopher said we are all political animals. And I say something that if you say you are not interested in politics, it means you have surrendered your life to failure. Because the person who is interested in politics will control how much your garri will cost. He will control how much your children will pay in school fees. He will control what they will teach your children in the school. He or she will control many aspects of your life. I say to people, if you are not interested in politics, you are just not interested in being like God. Because the politician is next to God.
Let's say leaders are next to God, not politicians. Leaders are next to God. Good leaders are next to God.
Any leader is next to God. Because whether you like it or not, we consider one of the bad presidents in country, they say he's one of the bad, Abacha. When he says we shouldn't go out, we don't go out. If we say we shouldn't eat, we will go under our bed in order to eat if we are hungry. If it's not place to go, why don't you walk to the street and say, okay, I'm eating now. They will just come and carry you and throw you to the dungeon if you are lucky. If you are not lucky, they shoot you and kill you there. So what I'm saying is that let's be frank and sincere. The politicians are next to us, whether good or bad. Whatever they say become the law. If our governor today say nobody pays tax in Kwara again, all of us will not pay tax now. And if he says, well, once you reach Ilorin gate there, you have to pay tax before you enter Ilorin, we will all obey. Otherwise, you turn back and go back. Eh? So, their law, their words are law. Recently, one politician bombed one country. And there's nothing we can do about it. It's only God that can do something about that.
I want us to come back home. Let's come back to Kwara State.
Welcome to Kwara.
I want you to, thank you, sir. I want you to compare the last disposition with this administration now. Is there any difference between the last administration and this administration?
I think
if there are differences, what are those developments you think? And if there are no development, what is affecting Kwara State development?
For my own security, I will answer the question diplomatically. I'm not going to lie to you. Kwara has been very unfortunate with the kind of governors and leaders we have had. Not since creation. My uncle was a governor. And he did his own bit, the way they understand it. With the resources today, we could do more. With the resources 10 years ago, we could do more. You are wondering who is my uncle?
No, that's not what I'm wondering. Maybe when you came back, you came into Ilorin, you've not drove around, you've not seen our factory, you've not seen Shufafa, you've not been the ICT building, you've not seen a lot of roads being done. That's development.
Development is in building roads and
we have garment factory, we have a lot of things.
If you feel that is development.
No, I'm only asking.
I agree with you.
No, I want to okay, what exactly is development with you? What is development?
Development is when you lift the people from where they are. How many people are lifted up? How many people have hope for the future? How many people have vision for what they want to achieve in 10 years, 15 years time? How many people can say, I am in a country, I can become this? How many people can really say, I am happy because I am here? Why are people running outside the country to relocating to other countries?
And the last but not the least question, let me ask you this. Assuming you are given the mandate to become the governor today, what will you do that will be different? Tell me something you do that will be different from what they've been doing.
I will work for the people.
How do you work for the people?
If I have the opportunity,
yes, sir,
I am going to work for them. I'm going to go everywhere to look at what the needs of the people is. Emotionally, psychologically, economically. You need to start looking at the needs of the people, not raising a flag that is the highest in West Africa.
Is urban renewal not a development?
What of rural renewal? The rural people have been condemned to, what do you call them?
Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes steps. So by then, they have another 2
you
years.
You can do it even not concentrate in one place.
Okay.
Because we are all Kwarans.
Because we are all Kwarans.
All
right. It's been so wonderful, the Engr Sunday Babalola. Thank you so much for coming. I hope when we call you again, you will answer us.
Well, we will try. And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
For having me.
My name is Fatima Bintu Dikko. This is Warata Podcast. See you next time.
This is